I still think that this big tariff threat globally, it'll look different in 3 months' time. He'll use it as a big negotiating tool. I think we're better positioned to come out of this with a deal than almost any other country. So short term it's painful, but what it does do, it exposes the fact that not being in the European Union does have advantages and ones that we ought to use.
So based on your knowledge negotiating?
Very much so. I mean, with China it's slightly different. I think those relatively high tariffs on China will probably stay. But I think with the rest of the world, he'll use it as a negotiating position. I mean, his argument, and the argument of many economists, is that America's not had a fair share in terms of global trade by other countries not treating them well. But this action is very, very radical. But it does actually make us wake up and think about the state of the car industry, think about steel making, think about all the things that are going wrong anyway.
So, too rush, is that the right approach?
Oh, I think retaliatory tariffs would be absolutely counterproductive in every way. In fact, I think this is the moment to recognise that as an independent nation with its own trade policy, we can actually benefit out of this. We can genuinely benefit out of this, certainly in the way that the European Union can't. That positioning is right. Where I disagree fundamentally with the Prime Minister is he's making a big speech today about the state of the car industry. Now, this has nothing to do with tariffs, in the sense that last year was our lowest level of car production since 1954. The EV mandates, the electric vehicle mandates that were put by the last Conservative government have been destroying the car industry. And all the Prime Minister's doing this afternoon, frankly, is fiddling around the edges. Even without America and tariffs, our car industry is in crisis. We've got the most expensive energy in the world, which is getting even more expensive under Labour's energy policy. And the prospect in a couple of weeks of being the only major country in the world that doesn't produce primary steel. And these are all things that Richard Tice and I have campaigned on for many, many, many years. And we're deeply worried about the rapid scale of deindustrialisation in Britain. I will be in Scunthorpe tomorrow and I will say more about our approach to this. But, we've been warning for years that the whole industry would go unless we looked at it differently, thought about it differently. But above all, the key to all of this is energy prices. And we go on still importing vast amounts of natural gas that we could be producing in the North Sea, and we're just not doing it. And the subsidy that is being paid to renewables is artificially forcing up our prices. And I'm afraid you've really got, or had for a decade and more, a Labour and Conservative Party wedded at the hip to the same net zero policies without any proper open debate.
For you, isn't it?
But it's fiddling at the edges. If you don't sell enough electric vehicles, you're fined £21,000 a car. That fine goes down to £15,000 a car. I'm sorry, it isn't going to make much difference. A few more years for hybrids, fine, but it isn't going to solve the problem.
Just on the council at Doncaster?
You're right. Labour have over 90% of the seats on Doncaster City Council. I'll make you one promise. This electoral map will look very different on May the 2nd.